Welcome to the Moon Magic Tarot channel. Thank you so much for joining me. In today's readings, we are asking very specifically, what is the universe trying to show you? Now, it may be that you're feeling like the universe is nudging you in a direction or creating havoc even, where you just think, what is going on? What am I supposed to see? Or it may be that you feel like you're being nudged in a direction and you're curious. But we are asking the question, what is the universe trying to show you, trying to nudge you towards, maybe even trying to push you towards? I sort of sometimes think we do get those moments where we think, universe, you could treat me with more care and more kindness, or a little bit more gently. But wherever you are at with that, whether it is you are just curious, you are noticing, feeling something, you've got a hunch, that's where we're going with today's readings. This will be reading number 1. Now we're going to draw 3 cards together. That is reading 2, and I can see reading 3 already. We'll also draw some charms and some runes. So let's have a look and see what we have. Wow, very powerful card to start with. Sacred Site, Purpose. Ooh, gosh, that says rather a lot, doesn't it? Reading number 1. Reading number 2, Medicine Mask, Authenticity. And reading number 3, Sea Creatures, Immersion. This is what that card is looking like. Okay, really beautiful cards today. Now let's draw a rune and a charm as well, for those of you that like to have that little bit of extra guidance. So reading 1, Sacred Site, Purpose, you have the rune of separation, Othilla. Reading number 2, Medicine Mask, Authenticity, you have the rune of Strength. Reading 2, Sea Creatures, Immersion, you have the rune of Gateway. Okay, let's draw a charm. Reading 1, you have a hand and it says handmade. I don't know if you can see that. It's really hard to get close up to it, but it's a little hand and it says handmade. Reading number 2, you have the charm of love. Reading number 3, you have bells. These came up quite recently in another reading actually. They always remind me of confetti, you know, the little wedding bells that are traditionally thrown at weddings. Okay, so those are your charms, your runes and your cards. Super Souls, I'm going to leave the video running for just a moment or two for anyone that just wants to spend some time just seeing which are speaking to you. It may be more than one reading. You may be feeling like you're getting more than one nudge or more than one thing going on in your life. I'll leave the video running. If you need any longer, you can always press the pause button, and the timestamps for the videos for the individual readings are in the information box and the comments for phone users as well. Tons of love, and I will see you in just a few moments. Welcome to reading number 1. You have been drawn to the card of Sacred Site, Purpose, the rune of Othilla, Separation, and this beautiful little hand, handmade. I feel reading number 1 really strongly already that this is like a homecoming of some sort to you. And when I say a homecoming, it doesn't necessarily mean a homecoming as in, this is going to sound like a contradiction, but I'll say it because it's there. So It doesn't feel like a homecoming as in a return to somewhere. It's not like popping home for the weekend kind of thing. It's a homecoming as in returning to yourself in some way. The handmaid, it's like, it's almost as if some aspect of yourself has been lost, or you disconnected, or your life took over in such a way that there was no room for some aspect of you. Let's draw more cards before we dive more deeply, but I feel, yeah, homecoming is what I feel is coming through very strongly for you. I will say no more just yet. Let's draw a load of cards and see what we're shown. We'll draw from an oracle pack first. I think 2 from this. And 2, and I think we will draw from another oracle as well. Those are your 2. And now let's draw from more than one tarot pack, I think. I've got 3 packs to one side and I'm really debating. It's interesting, I'm really drawn to all 3. So actually I think what we'll do, Super Souls, is we will do exactly that. We'll draw from all 3. There we are. Let's have a look and see what we are shown right now. We may well draw more. Let's first of all look at your oracle cards. So your first card is the card of the Sun, Source. The second is Midheaven, Pinnacle. Well, you really are at a significant turning point. We have the card of the Bigger Picture and the card of Mistakes. Yes, coming apart and follow the leader. Okay. I think that will fit into our camera view. Yes, it will. And follow the leader. I'm going to place this here, I think. Now, let's see what we have here. 6 of Wands, the card of victory. And we have the card of Justice. We have the Universe. Wow, this is huge, reading number 1. This is huge. So we have the Universe and we have the 10 of Discs. We have the Lovers and we have the Knight of Cups. Very, very interesting. Now this is primarily a card of choices. And there we have the Knight of Cups. This is where I'm going to sit these cards, just here at either side. Okay. Now for some of you this will connect into relationship, but not for all of you. The way that it connects with relationship is that I said at the beginning, you know, we're asking, what is the universe trying to show you? What is the universe nudging you towards, or pushing you towards, maybe even, you know I said sort of slightly tongue-in-cheek, you know, sometimes the universe, it can feel like it's a bit harsh, you know, it's like, come on universe, cut me some slack, give me a break, you know, what is it you want me to see? Actually, when I say you are coming home to yourself, you've been involved with someone. It doesn't necessarily mean it's intimately, but you've been involved with someone who either deliberately or inadvertently, they stifled your sense of self. This is a return to you. The homecoming is you returning to you. It's almost like for a little while, for some of you maybe longer than a little while, for a little while you couldn't see the woods for the trees. Literally, that was the nature of this connection. Now, whether this is work or intimate, this was a connection to someone that detached you. It's almost like you disconnected from your soul. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean it was somebody who was directly harmful. I'm not saying that for some of you, maybe you haven't had a connection with someone who you know, was really, really challenging. But you know, for some of you, it's just that it was someone for whom there will have been purpose for you to come together. And we'll ask about that. We'll draw cards in a moment. You know, what did you need to see and learn so that you can move on from it? But it's come to a head. It's reaching a point. It either has already reached a point of you know, reaching that head, or it's about to. You're heading that way. And I think at a level of soul, you know it. The challenge really, I think, with this connection was that, I mean, maybe your pathways were just, you know, so different. And maybe you needed to be with them to discover how important your own purpose and calling is. You know, sometimes we meet someone and, you know, it's joyous and exciting and fun and really cool to join into their world and wear the coats that they wear for a little while. And then after a little while, you suddenly begin to feel like your own purpose is dwindling, or you've lost sight of your own destiny, your own calling. And I believe this relationship will undoubtedly, whether it was challenging or otherwise, it will have brought you something along the way. And we will draw more cards for that. But now you are in a space and time when you need to reconnect. It's like reconnecting with yourself at a level of soul. Now, what is really gorgeous about this reading here is that we have the Knight of Cups and we have the Lovers. And I feel this is giving you some, not only is it really, are your spirit teams, the universe is giving us some really delightful guidance here, because it's a generic reading. It's going to relate to many people, all in their own unique circumstances. But what I can tell you we're being shown is that something has come to a head. And part of the fact that it came to a head is because it somehow disconnected you from yourself at a level of soul. It took over to the point where you couldn't see your own purpose or calling. You couldn't see the woods for the trees. And it's very easy when we reach that point to get into the naming, blaming, shaming game. They may have been blaming you. You may have been blaming them. But actually, the nature of this connection has needed to come apart. The joy that we have here with both the Lovers and the Knight of Cups is, for some of you, it is absolutely right that this relationship is ended and that you move beyond it. You know, you forgive your mistakes, you forgive the mistakes of others. We appreciate, and I'll read you what this card says. It says, if you feel you've made a mistake, or indeed someone else has done so with impact on you, please do not feel bad about this. Treasure and value your mistakes and those of others around you. They are the cutting edge of our personal growth and evolution. Lean into the learning and celebrate your openness to grow. So for some of you, this is a point of coming apart, and it's completely right that you now follow your own pathway, and the timing is really impeccable. I'm going to say more about this in a moment as well. This reading is full of information for you. It really, really is. But for others, It's not an ending of a relationship, it's that you have a choice within it. I mean, you always have a choice. You could stay and... But I think something is coming to a head to the point where it's going to come apart. For some of you, it's actually about re-establishing the boundaries within a relationship. So if you have been relinquishing your sense of self, it's time to take the lead and re-find your own direction. It's time to insist that you take time out to establish your own boundaries, to do the work that you need to do. If somebody is constantly, for example, this is a silly example, but it's come to mind, so I'll voice it. You know, we're living in an age, I think, where people make massive demands and expectations in terms of how quickly they get a response. You know, I sent you a text, you haven't replied within 5 minutes, it's a crisis. You know, actually, and you've got work to do and you're trying to do something important and you can't concentrate and you're feeling under pressure. And, you know, if this relationship is to continue, the choices within it are yours, but the separation is from the way in which this relationship is currently organized and operating, because at the moment it has been stopping you from literally being connected to your purpose, your calling. It is literally, it's disconnected you from you at a kind of level of soul. And it's really, really clear. Now, what we see here is that this is needing to be held up and adjusted and brought back into balance. This is really, really important. The timing is perfect to sort this out. For some of you, if you have come to the end of some kind of a connection with someone, if it is an intimate relationship, again, it could be a working relationship. If you're in a working situation where someone is placing ridiculous demands on you, it's time to draw those boundaries so that you can get on and do what you're supposed to do and not be undermined by the demands of a colleague or a, you know, or even a family member who requires you to, you know, when they say jump, you're meant to jump and say how high, and actually that's not working. Maybe even working with someone who is taking the credit for what you're doing, and you need to reground yourself. Connect yourself to your level, to a level, at a level of soul here. That is the core essence here. If you have ended a relationship and you are having one of those sort of moments where you think, gosh, I wonder if I should have done that. Should I have worked harder at it? But actually you kind of, in your heart of hearts, your soul of souls, you know it needed to come to an end. It wasn't really functioning in a vibrant or fluid way. Then new love is coming your way very quickly. We have an affirmation here. So something is going to get righted very quickly, and whatever has been taking place, the universe has been nudging you, showing you, possibly quite abruptly with something pinnacle coming to a head. It has been showing you that something within your connection to another person is absolutely untenable, it's not working, and it has to be sorted out, because it is stopping you from being able to step back, see clearly, and also to get in, you know, stepping away from that tit for tat, naming, blaming, shaming, but to see the higher picture, the bigger picture, but ultimately to follow your own course and your own direction. Your own course and your own direction does not mean that you relinquish or give up your right to, you know, following even, let's say, a spiritual pathway. Doesn't mean you give up your right to human happiness. You know, the two go hand in hand. You know, in generations previously, you know, it was almost as if you were to follow a spiritual calling, then, you know, you would have become a monk, you know, or a nun, or a, you know, or a priest, and you'd have gone and lived in sort of almost like isolation. You know, spiritual pathways were separate from the mundaneness of ordinary life. But actually, that's not the case now. And I think many people have lived spiritual pathways and compromised their human happiness in previous lifetimes. It's come up in quite a few readings I've done recently for people, you know, on an individual basis, that they've clearly juggled this balance between having a calling and having a you know, a sort of a human happiness. And you know, in previous lives, there are times when they have relinquished their spiritual pathway, and at other times in previous lives where they've relinquished their human pathway. This is a time when many people, I think, have come back to bring those things together. We know that spirituality in this time, especially as we move into a new age, you know, we are in the dawning of a new age, it doesn't have to be separate. It's not a separate thing anymore. Human happiness is absolutely in alignment with, you know, family life. Relationships is in alignment with having, you know, a healthy balance and still following our calling. It is that there is enough freedom, I think, within relationship. There's enough consciousness to be able to have a relationship that offers you a really solid sense of your own pathway, even within the context of a supportive relationship and a supportive union and a supportive family. So the universe has been showing you, nudging you, bringing you, pushing you to a point of saying, look, this has to change. The rune of separation, Othilla, is a rune that actually says we are cutting ties. Sometimes does relate to real property as well. So if you were, for example, if you have been feeling that you're living in the wrong location and things keep going wrong and it's come to a head, then it's time to leave that location. It's time to sell up or you know, let go of the, you know, the rental accommodation you're in and find somewhere else. Move to a different location. Okay, this does speak of real property sometimes. We have aspects of relationship within the reading, but it's covering a lot of different things. This could literally be house and home. You know, you're in the wrong place, you're with the wrong people, you're in the wrong job or whatever. Something is coming to a head. For some, it's simply that it needs to be restructured and reboundaried, so that you are free to be yourself and follow your pathway and not compromise who you are. For others, because yes, something is being called to account here. For others, it is a clear ending. It's really interesting. I've just had you probably can't hear it on the microphone, but a clap of thunder has just taken place. Literally here, I'm here in the UK in Wiltshire, very near many sacred sites, I have to say. It's interesting. And literally we've had a clap of thunder and it feels like it's just really aligning beautifully with this reading. We now have the rain coming, which is much needed. There is cleansing, there's release. Beautiful timing. Thank you, universe, for that wonderful additional sign. Whew. All my, you know, when you start to tingle and all the hairs on your body stand on end, it really feels like this is just such a validation of what is needing to take place here. The universe literally is going to open up for you. The Six of Wands is a card of victory. The key to victory is refinding your own vitality, following your own pathway, handmade. I said this felt like a homecoming. And the coming home is you coming home to you, or indeed you coming home to your own tribe or a different tribe, a tribe that aligns with your vibe. If you're in the wrong location, the wrong situation, something will come to a head. It either has already or it is the wrong relationship, the wrong partner or something. Whatever it is, it needs to be readjusted. The cards, though, are phenomenal for you in terms of possibility and positivity. The universe, an ending as well as a new beginning. The vitality of source energy. If you follow your own pathway, the timing is perfect. The universe is showing you this. There's a clock here that we are meant to see. Okay? There's a clock on this tree. The timing is really important. The reason I think the timing is important, and we'll draw more cards, is because I think the timing is quite important in terms of some aspect of your purpose or calling. When you are in alignment with your soul, the doorway, the gateway, the pathway to your success, to your path, to your purpose, your calling, becomes clear. When it is full of debris that belongs to someone else, you cannot see the woods for the trees. So this has to happen. This is a turning point for you. So I'm sorry if it has felt really harsh, or you've been sitting there thinking, I never thought this would end, or I just really don't know what to do about this. Everything that's happening is happening with purpose. And we have the 10 of Discs here. I mean, look at this Midheaven Pinnacle card with the castle. And what do we have here central to this card? We have a castle surrounded by discs, the 10 discs. This is a card of abundance. It's the card of the 10 of Pentacles in many traditional packs. 10 of Discs, 10 of Pentacles. We have the castle, we have the space of your dreams. This had to come to a head in order to get you back on track. The card of victory. This had to happen. This was important. It was almost as if you carried on the pathway you were, you would have remained in some aspect of fog or anxiety. Something had to lift, and it can only lift through the ending of either a something as it stands completely, or the ending in order to re-establish and re-boundary it. And you'll know which is right for you, reading number 1. What I am now going to draw more cards for you is to do with your purpose and your calling. I think the universe is really being so clear here. This had to end in order to create the new beginning. The timing is really important because there is something that you're meant to follow or bring forth. And this was getting in the way, whether it gets restructured and realigned so it's no longer in the way, or it's completely out of the picture one way or the other. This is the deal. Something has to end. So I'm going to find a new pack of tarot cards, in fact possibly 2. I'm going to use draw from the Akashic Tarot. So we're asking about the calling or the purpose for reading number 1. Okay. Oh, this is an interesting one. 3 of Keys in reverse. Ooh, what did I say? Timing, impeccable timing. We've had another clap of thunder. Ooh, this feels very fortuitous, right? The sands of time. The timing is vital, absolutely. We have 2 of Keys, the Treasure. It's interesting, it's in reverse. And the 1 of Roses, commitment. Okay. Really, really clear. Really clear. Right, the chess game is really interesting because in its upright position, it's basically saying, look, there's somebody around you who's playing games. You know, there's another agenda involved. You know, it's not the nicest energy, this card, if I'm honest. But yeah, there are games going on, manipulation, maneuvering, whether it has been consciously done or it's simply done through unmet needs. You know, sometimes if you've got somebody that's really clinging or, you know, tying you down or getting in your way, so to speak, sometimes it's not done consciously. Sometimes it's just that person is damaged or empty and they don't know how else to be. But either way, there is another agenda, or there has been, around you. It came out in reverse. Somebody asked me in the comments the other day, actually, I responded, I do try to answer your questions, and my apologies, I can't always respond to all the comments, and I really, really appreciate your feedback. I do try to respond as best I can, and I do listen to your suggestions for timeless readings as well, so keep them coming. But you know, this is a card in reverse. I do read these in reverse. That's what I was about to say. I was waffling away. My apologies. I sidetracked. Yes, somebody said you don't read cards up, you know, in an upright position in reverse very often. It is a question of personal choice. I do read the Akashic cards in reverse because they have very specific meanings. The others tend to tell the story anyway for me. It's just the way that I work. When this is in reverse, it means you are ready to leave the situation. You've had enough. You see it for what it is. You're not doing it anymore. So sorry, I was a bit long-winded there, but there we are. That's what that means. Whatever the agenda, you are clear about it. You know it's going on. It may be this reading that brings you the clarity or the affirmation or the confirmation that you needed. The Sands of Time. This is a card that says timing is of the essence. You're meant to do something. You have something amazing that is unique to you, handmade. You have something that you are bringing forth, that you were bringing forth, your contribution. Whatever it is for you, it could be anything from a career pathway to consciously parenting. Literally investing in a relationship that operates on the basis of consciousness, of two unique individuals coming together. Whatever your contribution, you have a really valid contribution to make. It's unique to you. And the situation you've been in, the circumstances, the location, whatever it is for you, has been prohibiting this. It's important because the timing here, I said this, follow the leader had the clock. The timing is right for you to be bringing that forth, whatever it is for you. Now, the Two of Keys is really interesting. It's in reverse, but it's sitting here under the bigger picture. The Two of Keys sees a man here. He is literally looking around him in this room, and the whole place looks like somebody's just broken into it. It's been totally ransacked, okay? So it's basically totally lunched out. But there is a little treasure in a little pot here that has not been touched. Whoever came in and took and created chaos in this man's surroundings, the treasure is still intact. They didn't find it, they didn't take it. Your soul, your purpose is still intact. Your calling is still intact. In reverse, whatever has taken place, it's now time for you to refine that treasure and reconnect with it and bring it forth and make that commitment. We have this beautiful card, One of Roses, commitment. A commitment to yourself, your purpose, your calling. For some of you, you may even be writing a book. You may have some connection to education where you are going to be doing things that are relevant to other people, to sharing information with people. How it may not be a traditional book, it could be a different aspect of sharing and communicating. It may be that you are stepping up and taking a leadership role in some aspect of your community, your family, whatever it is. But a move away from the way something has been is absolutely what is now needed. And the universe has been giving you nudges, shoves, possibly some significant pushes, along the way, but with real purpose, because the timing is really important here. The Sands of Time, for you to take action and bring this forth. You're going to be a light. You're going to be a light that will guide others. Whatever your field of work, whatever your field of living, again, you could just be a conscious parent, you could be a teacher, you could be leading by example. But you are going to be a light. I do want to say, I think for some of you there is, and I'm quite honoured that you're tuning in with my reading. I'm honoured that all of you are tuning in with my reading, so thank you. I think some of you are really stepping up into the limelight in some way, shape or form. And I think as you step up into the limelight, you're an example to others, whatever that may be. In a way, I think you're all stepping up into the limelight, but whether that is sort of locally or whether it's on a much larger scale. For some of you, I think it is quite a large scale limelight actually, but you're being asked to make a commitment to that pathway, and I think you were on it, or you were building it before you met or found yourself in the circumstances that lessened it or fogged it or interfered. I'm now going to just draw a few more cards, and my reason for that is I just want to check in. In some ways it doesn't seem completely necessary because I think your reading is really clear, reading number 1, but I would like to just make an inquiry for you about what was the purpose of that connection, particularly for those of you that maybe wish to continue with it but know you need to restructure and reboundary it. What was the lesson you were needing to learn around that? May we kindly ask, please, for some additional cards to know what was the lesson that was being taught through this connection. Ace of Trees, abundance, and 2 of Stars, boldness. Okay, right, this is really interesting. So, the lesson that you were needing to learn through that connection was an ownership of your own entitlement, and also the ability to be assertive. Not angry, not cross at the mistakes and the failings of others, but your ability to be assertive and to take an ownership of your own entitlement to abundance, literally, to success, to being in the spotlight. You know, sometimes we can get connected with people who kind of are very supportive, but they kind of don't really want us to move on either. You know, because it kind of highlights that maybe they don't, perhaps they're very content with their life as it is. But when someone comes along who's got a bit more going for them or wants to step up and do something in a bigger way, it sort of throws them. I mean, part of their learning is to be either happy, genuinely content and happy with their own decision to stay, you know, as they are, or indeed to learn that they too can step up. It isn't the right thing to dim you down. And your learning curve from that connection, and that's what also will need to be reboundaried if you remain in this situation at all, is to do with your own entitlement to success and your ability to be assertive and take an ownership of that. I'm going to place those down here. Really interesting that they sit over the card of the Lovers, which, as I said at the beginning, is ultimately a card of choice. Okay, Super Souls. Reading number 1, I think I am going to wrap up that reading now. It has been a super, super interesting reading. Super, super interesting. And I am really honoured that, I just want to say, people of this calibre, because I mean, anyone and everyone has their part to play. But you guys are really, there is something really powerfully important about you stepping up and taking an ownership of something here. And it's part of your calling, it's part of your journey. And the timing is really interesting. The universe has been showing you, nudging you, possibly almost giving you a bit of a kick from time to time to shunt you forwards. And that may have not always felt easy. But my goodness me, this is a reading of profound positivity. Super Souls, I am really honoured that, I'm going to say it, people of this calibre of soul growth are tuning in with these readings. It's a real honour to read for you. Super Souls, I am sending you all the love in the world. This is a spontaneous reading. It will be in my Timeless Readings playlist. I'll put the link to that in the information box and the comments. If you would like to get notification of any of my readings, if you subscribe and press the little bell icon, they should come into your stream. I post readings for weekly guidance every single Sunday. I post a moon forecast for the coming week every Friday. There are so many readings that I am adding to the Timeless Readings playlist that answer very specific questions. Keep your questions coming in the comments as well, because I will read them and I list them and I will do readings around those subjects for you. Super Souls, just thank you. It is a true honour and privilege to read for you. Tons and tons of love. Reading number 2, welcome. You have been drawn to this reading by the card of Medicine Mask, Authenticity, the rune of Strength, and the symbol of love. This card is fundamentally about being you, not hiding who you are. And also, I'd venture to say not conforming. But I'm not going to say any more than that. Let's draw cards. And I'm going to do what I did in reading number 1, which is draw from several different tarot packs to start with, as well as some oracle cards. This and this. Well, I will just do 2 more. It's unusual to draw so many cards without looking at them, but I just feel really aligned with doing this today this way. Interesting, isn't it, how this kind of works out? So let's have a look at our oracle cards. Okay, so you have Pisces, sensitive. You have the moon, perception. You have the card of compass. You have the card of cleaning house. You have time out and bless your past. I don't think we're going to get all those in, are we? Let's put, where can we put this? Time out. Bless your past. That should get us into view, I think. Cool. Now let's have a look at your tarot cards. You have the Hierophant. You have the Queen of Wands. You have the Death card, transformation, rebirth. You have the Six of Cups, the Princess of Wands, and the Two of Wands. This is very interesting. Okay. Right. Reading number 2, this is really interesting. I feel like the universe is kind of, I want to say the universe is celebrating you, but you probably don't feel like it. Okay, I don't, how best to say this. So you're very sensitive at the moment. You're probably very sensitive souls anyway. I think I get that impression. But what is happening is your sensitivity is, and this is what the universe is trying to, this is why I'm saying the universe is celebrating you. And it's what the universe is trying to show you. Your sensitivity has, it's been altering your perception of things. You know how if we feel very sensitive, we take on board, often we take on board what other people need. So let me give you an example. If your sensitivity is at a level, I think, that's what I'm really feeling here and really being shown, your sensitivity is so acute, for want of a better word, and that's I think that's partly it's there in your personality, and I really honour you, because I think the world really needs empathic people and desperately needs sensitive people. Many of the world's problems would not even exist if people were more sensitive and therefore more thoughtful about how they how they navigated life. You know, they'd be more aware of the impact of themselves on others. So you're acutely sensitive. It's possible that at the moment, for a variety of reasons, your sensitivity may be even higher than usual, okay? But nevertheless, you are a deeply sensitive soul. But if you walk into a room and two people had had an argument, you're the kind of person who will walk into the room, you'll feel it because your sensitivity is so acute. Even if they say nothing and they smooth it all over and pretend to be chatting away nicely, you will know that something is wrong, okay? But you won't know what it is. You'll pick up on it. It'll be, for you, it's like walking into a wall of energy. You'll pick up on it, but you won't know what the problem is because they haven't told you, and now they're smoothing it all over and they didn't want to talk about it, which is fair enough. It's their choice. Don't have to tell everybody about everything. But you're the kind of person who will walk in and your sensitivity is so acute and you'll absorb that energy. And then you'll think, oh gosh, this doesn't feel good. What did I do wrong? And so that level of sensitivity alters your perception. And I think what happens is that you then try very, very, very hard to put things right. It's like you try to get everything back on track. We have the card of the compass. You get everything back on track, or you're trying to smooth it over, you're trying to make everybody happy, okay? And the challenge with that sort of stuff is that, number one, you end up carrying a ton of stuff that doesn't really belong to you, okay? Cleaning house. This is about clearing up your energy. And you also end up not necessarily showing the real you. Because if you walked into that room and you needed to have a conversation with those two people about something really important, you will immediately have put it to one side. You'll put it down and you won't voice it because you can tell that something's not right. So your sensitivity is, in many ways, it's amazing because it gives you the most incredible intuition and it gives you the most incredible it gives you the most incredible levels of empathy and connection to people. But I think what the universe is really trying to show you is that you're needing to re-establish something of your kind of your management of your sensitivity. That's what I want to say. Okay, now it's completely doable, okay? It's completely doable. What I'm really seeing here, sort of moving on from my initial thing where I said, you know, I think some of you have been, you are inherently sensitive, you always have been. I do actually think something has happened in more recent times to increase your sensitivity. It could even be the result of lockdown and of the pandemic. It could be a circumstance or a situation around you. But if you think about sensitivity or anxiety, for example, as being, it just means your sensitivity is, the volume control has been turned up and you're on high alert. And I think that's what's kind of happening and has been happening for you. And so it is colouring your perception, and what's happening is your perception is then being coloured more by your emotions than being led by your intuition. You have extremely good intuition. You really, really do. But because you've absorbed a lot of other people's stuff, there is a need to take some time out and stop, okay? And to then put down the past, because there's an emotional residue of something that is still clinging to you, and it's blocking you from being able to differentiate between your intuition and your emotions. So there's a need to sort of cleanse and release and get yourself back on track. And what the universe is suggesting here is that you take some time out. So don't keep pressuring yourself to keep on and on and on doing things. Take time out, shed, release, cleanse. You know, buy some salt bath. Salt bath, I use a salt bath with lavender in it, and also eucalyptus oil. It's beautiful. Salt bath with lavender. Lavender is what's known as a, gosh, what's the name of it? Forgive me, I'm now going to not be able to find the word. It's an adaptogen. That's the name, as a herb. And adaptogen means that it's adaptable. It finds its way to the source of what needs healing. So if you have a salt bath which will cleanse you and it has lavender in it, the lavender will go where it's needed. It will find its way to cleanse the areas within you. You know, we carry emotions and toxicity from situations within our body. You know, that's been really well researched. You know, for those of you that are new to my channel, I worked as an accredited psychotherapist, counsellor for over 28 years. My work now, my calling is very much to bridge the gap between, you know, bringing that knowledge into the world, but also connecting it with our spiritual pathways and, you know, soul development and soul growth. But, you know, I can tell you from experience and from lots and lots of learning that we carry the residue of the emotional stuff that we're left with when something is difficult. You know, physical scars heal, it's the emotional ones that remain. And we keep that. It's like an energetic roadblock in the body. So cleansing your physical body. Take time out. This card says, give yourself permission to stop. Sometimes we just need to slow down and rest up, and yet so often we keep on pushing and pushing, even though there are clear signs that we should stop. Taking time out now will allow you to replenish your energy and return revitalized with an abundance of focused energy. So just give yourself permission to stop. Stop trying to run on empty, because, you know, this kind of stuff depletes you. You need to replenish. You also do need to do some cleansing. It is, of course, up to you. It's not for us or for the universe to tell you as such, but I think that whatever is going on, if the universe keeps bringing you interruptions, or you decide you plan your day and everything goes wrong, it's actually because, it isn't because the universe is trying to wind you up. It's because the universe is saying, look, stop, take some time out. You know, stop trying to push yourself, stop trying to do this, stop, cleanse, release. And then you can come back revitalized. So you might be finding that there are hiccups going on and that things aren't running smoothly. And that is because the universe is asking you to stop. You know, the universe is actually caring for you and seeing that you are not fully caring for yourself at this moment in time. The Bless Your Past card also gives really important and helpful information. A useful tool to help us to let go of any emotional residue that is still clinging to us from a past experience is to bless your past. Whenever the memory of an event or a person comes to mind, and these things do, don't they? They just show up at the least, when we least expect it. We find we're dwelling on something and we think, where did that come from? There's an emotional residue still left within you. So when that happens, pause and say to yourself, I bless every aspect of my past and I celebrate the contribution that it gave me in becoming the person I am today. And then literally breathe it out. You know, take 4 deep breaths in and 4 deep breaths out. You know, breathing in peace, releasing any unease, any anxiety, any connection to the past. You may even find, and I'm going to voice this, you may even find, as I am doing this reading and saying this, if you find yourself yawning, okay, and that really can happen sometimes. I used to work with a particular technique that was really good at releasing anxiety with my counselling clients, and you know, so many of them, as we were working through this, they would yawn and then they'd apologise, and I'd be like, don't apologise, your body is releasing. Literally, we naturally want to yawn. We're letting go of stuff through our breath. So if you're finding yourself yawning, then this is really resonating, you know, around this need to let go. Now, the purpose of letting go of this is you slow down, you take time out, you let go, and you realign your sensitivity without the volume control turned up. It means then that you can begin to realign with your intuitive voice rather than your emotional one. And this is going to give you a very big space of new beginnings. And, you know, the Queen of Wands is here celebrating. I mean, she is a master manifester. Something is turning around in your world. Something has come to an end and there is a new beginning. The Death card is a new dawn. Now, the Six of Cups is interesting because there is some nostalgia, some looking back. So this for me is suggesting, and I love that we have the Queen of Wands and the Princess of Wands here. And I love the way we look, if we look at the imagery in these cards, you know, she is actually releasing, but in celebration. She's saying, I let go of this. I'm free of it. I'm liberated. And the Princess of Wands, again, she's burning something behind her. Yeah, there's a tapestry burning. She's stepping up. They are both stepping up into their own power through the releasing of things that no longer serve them. We have the Death card. This is about you owning your sensitivity, being your authentic self. Back to this card and the Rune of Strength. I've said it in many of my readings when the Rune of Strength comes up. Always this rune speaks to me of the universe having your back. You are loved just the way you are. You don't have to put anything on or wear any masks. If you walk into a room, have the courage to say, something doesn't feel right here. Can I help out in any way? You know, you're an amazing person. You can just walk in and say, and the chances are you'll get confirmation that it's not you. You know, it's really, really, right now you're needing to cleanse, release, and re-establish the power that you have through your sensitivity. It's your sensitivity that can also initiate conversations that bring about healing for people, because you can say, you know, something doesn't feel quite right. Is anybody else picking up on this? Or how are you guys doing? Something doesn't feel quite okay. Do you want to talk about it? You know, you can take an ownership of your own power. Six of Cups, there is nostalgia here. So something didn't work out that has left you with an emotional residue. But part of you realigning in your own power, re-establishing your sensitivity as an intuitive tool rather than bogged down by emotions, is to do with letting go of things that no longer worked. Letting go of the past. It's really very clear. Now, Super Souls, reading number 2. I'm going to actually draw more cards. I would like to know how this is going to pan out, what is being shown, whether there's any more information we need to know about, you know, why now as well. You know, the universe may just be saying, look, come on, it's high time you used your sensitivity to look after you rather than to look after everybody else. You need to step up and, you know, step up. It's time to step into your own power, to be your authentic self. You know, you are a blessing in yourself. It's time for new beginnings. But let's see what else we might be shown for reading number 2. Okay, I'm going to use the Akashic Tarot. Now this is really interesting. You have the Six of Forces, the Waterfall. You have the King of Roses. You have the One of Keys, the Architect. And you have the Bird's Nest. This is super nice cards, reading number 2. Okay. Really, really, really lovely new possibilities here for you. It's interesting, I was actually talking in reading number 1 about how with the Akashic Tarot, they are one of the few packs I read in reverse. Interestingly enough, for these 4 cards, do you know whether they were reversed or upright? The meaning for me is the same. The waterfall for me is indicating that you are genuinely you're genuinely powerful in your own right, but you have, I think, again, something happened, other people's energy has debilitated you. It's time to re-find your own life force, basically. It's time to re-find your own authenticity. Now, I suspect it happened within some aspect of relationship, something that went wrong, but there are so many new possibilities opening up for you here. And the universe is actually asking you to pause, take time out, release and cleanse in order to enter a new phase. It's literally everything in this reading is nudging you. So I do feel that if there have been lots of interruptions and disruptions, one, you're being asked to take time out in a daily kind of way. Just stop, you know, see if you can take a break, take a holiday or whatever. It's time to really write your own compass really here. But for some of you also, I think you've persevered in a situation which was quite debilitating, and it's time to realign. Good things will come to you and you can kind of get back on track and become the architect. You know, you get to be the architect of your own grand design. I think what is happening at the moment is the universe is saying to you, all of this is available for you, but you need to nurture yourself first. Three of Forces, the bird's nest. You need to be able to nurture yourself in order to regain your power. You need to feather your own nest, not be feathering everybody else's. For some of you, the emotional residue from the past has perhaps come from a relationship that didn't go well, but you know, or something didn't work out, but this is going to be righted very quickly if you step back into your own power and you become your authentic self. It's very interesting that if you are being what you think somebody else wants you to be, they don't actually get to know who you really are. You know, in a way, we deny them the opportunity to really know who we are. And even if that means that something doesn't work out, it's better that it doesn't work out, because, you know, it's no good them getting to know a sort of a false you almost, or a you that is just providing them with what they want. That's not a healthy relationship. This needs to be, you know, a relationship of health is one where you are recognized and appreciated and loved exactly as you are, without having to wear any masks. So what I see in these cards is the potential for you to get back on track, become the manifester of your own grand design, but the need also to feather, literally to feather your own nest over and above those of others. And if the universe is bringing disruption into your life, and I think for some it might have been, there might have been some quite big disruptions. For others, it will feel like it's lots and lots of niggles where things are just not running smoothly. If they're not running smoothly, the purpose of the universe delivering these interruptions is for you to stop, take time out and release properly. Because once you release, you will re-find your own life force. Pathways will open up. People will see you for who you truly are, love you for who you truly are, and your world will begin to unfold. Literally, you become that manifester. A new dawn is really present for you guys, and I'm sorry that there has been, for some of you, I think, some difficulty. But do you know, interestingly enough, the lesson that I think you were supposed to learn, and we'll draw some more cards actually, but I think the lesson you were supposed to learn was to do with being you. Almost, you know, sometimes when we get involved with people who aren't as emotionally sensitive, then, and we end up compensating for that, and I think that you guys do that very readily. It means that, interestingly enough, part of the learning curve is for you to begin to navigate your sensitivity in a more boundaried way. Let's just ask, you know, what was the lesson from, you know, historically that reading number 2 were being given? Seven of Hearts choices. And 9 of Hearts, perseverance. I completely can see this. I completely can see this. Okay, so the lessons that were being brought to you in the situation that kind of left you with a bit of emotional residue was to do with you learning when to stop. You know, sometimes we persevere at the expense of ourselves. We keep trying harder and harder to get it right for someone. We keep trying harder and harder. But in doing so, we're wearing a mask and not being our authentic self. We're not revealing that it's difficult for you know, you weren't revealing it's difficult for you. Sometimes we persevere for too long. This is about recognizing you have choices. And if someone isn't right for you, then you can choose. You don't have to wait for it to become so overwhelming and so awful and to the point of burnout. You can actually choose along the way to say, do you know what? This isn't working for me. Love you dearly, but, you know, we need to negotiate. We need to do something differently, or however that pans out. But that was the lesson here. You are needing to take time out. You are needing to shed, release and cleanse, and the universe has been nudging you, shoving you, pushing you into that zone. The purpose within all of this, the bigger picture here for you guys, is to learn. The learning curve is to be you and to celebrate you. And you know what? If that doesn't fit or align with someone else, then tough, because you are amazing and you have something unique and remarkable to bring into the world, and that is you. You know, you don't have to wear the cloak that somebody gave you to wear. You need to be authentically you and stand in your own power and your own authenticity. This is a really powerful card, the Medicine Mask. The lessons that you've been learning are to do with making choices, persevering, knowing that you don't have to persevere for too long. You know, there's a time when persevering is not helpful. And actually the deal here is about, everything in this reading is about you being you. A new beginning. Being your authentic self. Firing yourself up. Not compromising who you are. And knowing, you know, if you're a little bit of a, I don't know, a little bit of a rebel, or, you know, that's fine. Just be you. If you're a little bit different, just be you. If you're more sensitive than other people, be you, but don't let that sensitivity be used against you in any way, shape or form. And don't you use it in a way that means you absorb more than your fair share. That is what this reading is really saying. And the universe has been nudging you to take time out, shed, release, cleanse, realign your own energy and step back up into a position of your own empowerment. Feather your own nest instead of everybody else's, reading number 2, because you are loved and the universe totally has your back. You are unique, amazing. Your very, very essence of your uniqueness is a gift to the world. Super Souls, I think I'm going to wrap up this reading. It's a beautiful reading. I can see your energy's been really depleted by circumstances that have left an emotional residue. Super Souls, I have a free online library with a whole series within it of meditations that are about emotional release. Also, those meditations, and indeed the whole library, is about teaching you to use your emotions as a source of empowerment rather than a disability. And I also wrote a book called Mindfulness Meets Emotional Awareness, where I take each of the most challenging emotions and show you how to shift them into a positive rather than a negative. I mean, emotions always, all of them have a higher vibration and a lower vibration. Most of the time we sit in the lower vibration if it's negative, but you know, we can shift that. So I'll put all the links to those things in the information box below and the comments for phone users. Super Souls, if you'd like to get notification of any of my readings, if you subscribe and press the little bell icon, they should come into your stream. I post loads of readings. I post every Sunday for weekly guidance. I put a moon forecast up on Fridays. This is one of my more spontaneous readings where I'm answering specific questions. I've created a whole timeless readings playlist. I will put all the links and indeed anything and everything that I do that might be relevant or helpful to you in the information box and the comments. So Super Souls, I am sending you the biggest hug. Take heed of the universe. The universe really has your back. The universe is really wanting you to step into a position of your own personal empowerment and to create and build and manifest the world that you desire. But you need to shed, release and cleanse and slow down and stop putting yourself under so much pressure. Cut yourself some slack, and remember, you can never please all of the people all of the time. And this is a reading that is asking you to please yourself. Super Souls, I am sending you billions of hugs, and I look forward to seeing you for some other readings. Tons of love. Welcome, reading number 3. You have been guided in by the Sea Creatures Immersion card. You also have the rune of Gateway, and you have the little bells of celebration. This is really interesting because this is a card of celebration. It's a card that says just dive in and go for it. Go with the flow. The world's opening up for you. And yet the rune of Gateway is a rune of pause and evaluation, which is quite interesting. So I'm kind of wondering what that's about. Let's draw some cards and see what we're shown. Now we're going to draw various oracle cards first. See what we are shown for reading number 3. Ooh, absolutely. Just going to go with that one there. Oh, trouble finding it. And another. Let's have a look and see what our oracle cards are showing first. So you have Mars motion. Ooh, this is seriously, this is definitely happening. Mars motion. 3rd house, communication. This is beautiful. The energy is very vibrant here. Look at this, empower yourself. Reading number 3, the universe is nudging you, shoving you, pushing you, showing you. It's time to step up the pathway of the spiritual warrior and the calling of your soul. I feel like the energy around you, reading number 3, is seriously happening. We have encouragement and gentle gardener. Wow. Something you have been working on, bringing forth, thinking about, making, doing. It's going to emerge. Reading number 3. It's on its way. It's about to hatch. It is absolutely about to hatch. I feel like this beautiful woman here. It's almost like the feminine, nurturing energy of the universe, watching over these lovely little fairies that are hatching out of the eggs. It's time. Something is absolutely about to happen for you. Encouragement. If you are having any kind of wobble of self-doubt, if you are having any question around something that you're doing, that you're working on, that you're manifesting, you may be manifesting more than one thing, there's more than one egg here. This is time to step up and take action. Now remember, we have this card of empowerment, very important here that we read this too. So empowerment does not mean that we have power over others. It means we have power over ourselves. We honour our capacity for free will and conscious choice whilst honouring the same in others. This card asks you to evaluate your present situation and to take an ownership of your right to choose, with a recognition of the entitlement of others to do the same. This reading is singing, literally singing. Reading number 3. You are being encouraged to move forwards, to immerse yourself in the essence of the things that you really want to do. What will make your heart sing? What is it you're manifesting? What do you want to bring forth? What will just really fire you up and float your boat? Remember along the way that not everyone will feel the same vitality that you do. So be thoughtful about, this is the rune of gateway, so be thoughtful and aware that not everyone around you will be in the same zone. You know, when you're really fired up and you're really excited and you're really enthused and everything is just like working out just like you wouldn't believe, and doorways seem to be opening, and do you know what, it almost doesn't matter if they do, because you're just loving every second of what you're doing, and just because you are, every doorway is going to open, every egg is going to hatch. Not everyone around you is feeling that way. We are all on our different pathways at different times. So just be mindful to be evaluating how you share your celebrations with people. If you have just met the love of your life and you're going to invest in that partnership, be thoughtful about how you communicate that to maybe a best friend who's just broken up, for example. If you've just got the career opening of your dreams, or you are suddenly you're on a roll and you just wake up, you know that you're writing a book and you just wake up and you're dreaming about it, and the next chapter's there and it's just flowing, but your best mate is also writing a book, and you normally meet and coach each other and give each other support, and they've got really big writer's block. Be thoughtful about how you communicate. That's what I'm seeing here. Let's draw more cards. In fact, we're going to draw from 3 different tarot packs. See what we are shown for reading number 3. This feels so exciting. It's like you are being called to literally immerse yourself in whatever it is that you want to make happen. Let's see this one. You have an extra card there. I was going to do 2 of each, and we have 3 there. Well, perhaps your energy is just so abundant reading number 3, so I'm seeing this one actually. Okay, you know, I'm going to put those 2 to one side that came as well, and we'll come to them in a moment. Okay, we have the Emperor. Oh, wow. I mean, come on, reading number 3. This is just fab. The universe is shunting you, nudging you, pushing you, showing you the way, showing you that you are doing something that is so right for you, and asking you to just immerse yourself, absorb yourself in it, eat, sleep, breathe it. You know, just do anything and everything that feels right to bring this into being, because it's going to happen. We've got the card of leadership, we've got the 10 of Pentacles, and look at this, the 10 of Cups, and another Emperor. I mean, this is something else. Is this not something else? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. We then have 2 Queens, Queen of Discs, Queen of Swords, and then we have the 4 of Discs as well. Wow, wow, wow. Place this here. Let's put the Queen here, Queen of Swords, and we'll put these here. Okay. Well. Oh, well, reading number 3. I could just sit here and say, wow. It's like it's crazy good for you guys. The universe is showing you the way. The universe is pushing you forwards. The universe is saying, go for it. The universe is saying, look, you may need to, I'm just checking in on this room. Look, you are on the pathway to abundance, success, happiness. This is amazing. You really, really are. You are hatching an idea that is really, really good. Okay. It's completely right that you move it forwards, you take action. For some of you, you may be moving into an arena where you are going to be speaking, you know, where you are going to be doing some level of communication. Don't hold back. There's something really powerful taking place here for you. It is a turning point for you. The rune of gateway is a turning point. Very interesting. So these two cards and the rune of gateway. The rune of gateway is a turning point. And it's a gateway, it's an opening. But it is also a space where we stop and metaphorically, we climb to the top of a mountain and we look back over anything and everything that has led us to get to the point where we are today. And in that moment, we step into a space of gratitude for all that we've learned. And because we're in that zone of gratitude and appreciation, even for the kind of rubbish stuff that's happened, we've grown from it. We are able to release any negativity and step through the gateway. The Four of Discs asks us not to hold on to something. So I'm kind of intrigued by this. And the Queen of Discs here. There may even be something that you guys have been holding on to that you almost, I don't know. You know when you're working at something and you feel like you're not, let's say you're not sure it's going to work out. This reading is in every possible way is saying to you, this is happening. I mean, wow, the Emperor and the Emperor, yes. Empower yourself, yes. Mars, motion, yes. Encouragement, yes. But we've got this encouragement. So some part of you has wobbled along the way. Gentle gardener, you wondered whether that egg would really hatch. Maybe you're thinking one egg will hatch but another won't. Maybe you're reticent about reaching out and communicating clearly with someone because you're fearful it won't actually happen or it won't take place. There's a need to let go of something here. Not to hold on to something that has in the past kept you safe. Okay, whatever that may be. It will be unique to each of you. It could be a habit or a thinking pattern or a staying in your safe zone or a putting something down to one side and thinking, oh, you know, it's almost like it's easier to do something. It's really interesting. There's just a really interesting energy with these two cards. Something needs to be put down so that you can move forwards. It could be a limiting belief. The universe is going to bring up situations that highlight what that is. You might find you're in full flow, you're working, let's say you are, whatever it is you're creating, you're immersed in it, and suddenly something random pops into your head and you think, where did that come from? Or some aspect of self-doubt comes in and you think, oh, I can't believe, you know, you sort of almost, your mind wanders down that road. Okay? Be gentle with yourself if that happens, but let it go. Develop some kind of an affirmation that is going to really allow you to press the pause button and release it. There's something about your ownership and your entitlement to actually literally have and to hold is what I want to say. I feel like you're having to let go of something that you have, some aspect in you, really deep down for some of you, some aspect of either self-doubt or a lack of belief led you to think that somehow it would never quite happen, and you need to let go of that because it's happening. You need to immerse yourself in joyful, playful energy and love every second of what you're doing, because it's just, I mean, this is just as loaded with success as it could be. You need to be clear about what you're aiming for and really, really crystal clear. The energy here is working for you in every possible way. Let's look at these two extra cards. And what do we have here? Another 10 of discs and a 3 of discs as well. Wow. Now, this for me is like, I feel like it's all roads lead to Rome. I feel like there's opportunity here. There's celebration. There's early celebration as well. You're going to see the results of something you're doing fairly early on. Don't give up. Persevere. This is really working for you. I can't believe this. 3 of discs and 10 of discs as well. I mean, This is just so happening. So, reading number 3. You need to let go of the universe may show you some things, as in niggles of self-doubt, stuff that you're not quite sure about. If it does, don't hesitate, just immerse yourself in it playfully, be creative. If you do venture into some aspect of your own sort of equivalent of writer's block, immerse yourself in it, the solution will come to you. I mean, wow, I just have to keep saying wow. In fact, I'm actually going to place these over here. I feel these 2 extra cards are here. They're saying, right, don't hold on to self-doubt. Celebrate. In fact, again, there's a real clarity here. Celebrate what you have achieved. Gratitude. If you have a wobble, celebrate what you've achieved. If somebody needs something from you, and it temporarily, momentarily detracts from your immersion in this, then give with grace and gratitude, and then return to what you're doing. You know, so if somebody needs something from you, if somebody makes a demand, you know, you were just in full flow, don't be resentful. The nurturing is happening. This is happening. This is absolutely happening. Just attend to what you need to. If there's some daily stuff that is required, if you're doing a day job while doing something else, go and do the day job with full gratitude and playfulness, and then come home and immerse yourself in the thing you really want to do. Literally immerse yourself in the things that make your heart sing. Don't be afraid to reach out, but be thoughtful that not everyone is in the same zone. There's some playfulness around this. This is so beautiful. Let's draw some extra cards just for some further advice for reading number 3 on how to maintain their momentum, how to stay on track, or how to manage interruptions if they come. See what we are shown. Okay, so your first is, it's in reverse, 2 worlds, 2 of scrolls. I'm going to show it to you in the upright position. We'll come back to it, but it came out in reverse. This is really clear. The scribe, Two of keys, the treasure, and the King of Forces. Beautiful cards, beautiful cards. Right, so asking for more information. I think that there have been some significant interruptions, and I think you've worked incredibly hard at what is about to unfold and really seriously happen. You've really, really invested, you've given and given and given, and you felt like it just was never coming together. The Two of Scrolls is shows somebody who has been spinning. She has been spinning and spinning and spinning, and she only has a few coins on the table to show for that hard work. But you know what this is telling you? That the universe is really showing you here in this reading that all of the work that you have been doing, that's the Rune of Gateway, the looking back, everything that's happened, all of the work you've put in has led you to this point. And now, because it came up in reverse, all of your hard work is about to bear fruit. So all of the spinning, it's kind of like someone who's been spinning and spinning and spinning, and they only ever got paid the lowest price, and suddenly someone spots the spinning that they have been doing and says, oh well, that's so amazing, I will give you this much money for it. And it's like, wow, and suddenly everybody wants the garments that you're spinning because they're so amazing, and the price has just gone up and up and up, and people are climbing over themselves to get what you do. Okay, so the gateway, again, you're at that turning point. You may have felt as though this was never going to happen. You need to let go of any aspect of self-doubt or a lack of entitlement. That is about to shift. Now the scribe, let's get to it. Knuckle down. do the work, immerse yourself in this project, this venture. It's going to happen. Again, the treasure, Two of Keys. Now this shows a man in a room that's full of disarray, but the treasure is still intact. So even though somebody has come and rampaged his room, turned it upside down, the treasure is still intact. The treasure is sitting here on the table in a box. It wasn't noticed. When it's in reverse, it means that a time of kind of chaotic interruptions is coming to an end. The treasure is intact and it's now time for you to bring it forth. The King of Forces, well, you know, this is as close to the card of the Emperor as we can get within the Arcana. It's like, this is a figure of fortune. He's very grounded. You know, the universe is working with him. Look at his animal friends. It doesn't matter that they are normally predators, you know, that the wolf might hunt the deer here. Sorry, the hare here. You know, normally these animals would not work well together, but they do. You know, this is a man who brings harmony. This is a man who has something to bring forth. This is a man who can activate change in real terms, manifest change. Whatever you are bringing forth in your world, you're going to get the help you need to make it possible. Wow, the Emperor. 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles. Wow. 10 of Cups. I mean, wow. Just remain focused, reading number 3. All you have to do is remain focused, immerse yourself. If there are any interruptions, attend to them gracefully, then move on and get back into that space of entitlement. I think this is much more showing you that, though, that you need to release any inner blocks to your full entitlement and your full recognition and your full success. This is just, I mean, the universe is nudging you, moving you, showing you the signs. What is lovely here is that the universe is also showing you that all the hard work, all the challenges along the way, everything that felt like it was a learning curve, but it wasn't really happening, it's all about to come to fruition. Those eggs are going to hatch. And it's so deserved. So immerse yourself in the essence of everything you wish to create. And super souls, it's going to happen. It's just wonderful. I mean, just wonderful. I honestly can't think of a more positive reading that I've done. I mean, we've had some fabulously positive readings coming through, but this is seriously wow. The universe is really showing you that this is opening up. Immerse yourself. Don't hold back. Celebrate. Celebrate everything, including everything that got you to where you are, even the rubbish stuff, because everything has led you to where you are now, and it's contributing to your ability to make this real and for these eggs to hatch. This is beautiful. Wow. The universe totally is with you. So I think you're going to see things open and open and open. Don't let any aspect of self-doubt or lack of entitlement get in the way. Lean into a space of gratitude for anything that pops up that reminds you of, gosh, I don't think it'll happen. Just go for it. The pathway will clear. The right people will come to help you. Whatever you are bringing, for some of you, you are manifesting in more than one area of your life. And I am seeing success across the board. This is stunning. It's beautiful. What is the universe showing you? What is the universe telling you? The universe is saying to you, look, your time of struggle is over. It's time to take action. Be thoughtful of those around you who are not in the same place, but don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to step forward. Don't be afraid to step through that gateway. Don't cling to anything that has been holding you back, and any interruptions, deal with them with grace, gratitude, and then immerse yourself again. Everything is coming through for you. This is, I mean, seriously, wow. Really, really, wow. I know if I go over this, we might count how many wows I've done reading number 3, but it's heavenly to sit in your energy. and an honour, because I can really see you've been through a lot to get to where you are, but this is that breakthrough time for you, and I am thrilled beyond belief. Super Souls, if you'd like to get notification of any of my readings, if you subscribe and press the little bell icon, they should come into your stream. This is a spontaneous reading. I upload loads of these. I upload readings every single Sunday for weekly guidance. I upload a moon forecast on Fridays. I do a ton of stuff, and I will put all the relevant links in the information box below and the comments for phone users. Super Souls, I will also, gosh, I'm losing the plot now. I'm just so overwowed. I'm all wowed out. But I'm thrilled. I'm so thrilled for you. I am just so thrilled for you. This is just amazing. Really, truly, it really is. Anyway, I will put all the links there. I've got this is a timeless reading, of course. So I answer loads and loads and loads of questions in my timeless readings, and I have a timeless readings playlist. I'll put the link in the information box and comments as well, along with everything else that might be helpful for you. But if you have a wobble, just check in, because there'll be a reading to help you somewhere. You know, there will be a reading to keep you on track, because this is such a pivotal and amazing time for you guys. Don't lose the energy. It's so perfect for you, truly. So if you have a wobble of doubt and you feel you need some support, check in with that playlist. There will be a reading somewhere in there that will help you and will guide you. Super Souls, I just actually want to congratulate you. I really do. I want to feel like I'm singing that song, you know, that celebration song, isn't it? Celebration time. You know the one I mean. Anyway, I will not dive into song, but Super Souls, I feel like we are going to be celebrating. So yes, you know, in a month's time, in a couple of months' time, when this is really unfolding, you know, don't forget to come back in and comment and say, remember that reading, you know, and let us know, because you know, this is an amazing community here on YouTube. I'm so grateful and privileged to read for you all. And yeah, as a community, we will want to celebrate your success. And reading number 3, wow, it's coming. Tons and tons of love to you. And I look forward to seeing you for some other readings.